Today's topic is about eukaryotic gene regulation. Previously, we have seen lake operon and gene regulation by repression mechanism. Now, eukaryotic gene regulation is quite complex and need to be understood in detail. So that we will look. So various steps at which eukaryotic gene expression are controlled, that is explained in this picture. So simply that DNA that is forming mRNA, and from that mRNA to final protein formation. So DNA to initially mRNA formation, there is an intermediate hnRNA, that is heteronuclear RNA is generated. So DNA to mRNA, in between transcriptional control as well as RNA processing control, that is helpful for the gene expression. Further, mRNA to protein formation, RNA transport and localization control as well as translation control. Further, mRNA degradation control and protein activity control, that is also helpful for the gene expression. So final gene expression is with the help of function of the protein, but DNA to protein formation at various level, particularly in eukaryotic cell, it is controlled. So that is various step for the eukaryotic gene expression, and they are controlled for the various activity of the cell. So in detail of that we will look. So first, control at DNA level by DNA methylation process. So simple methylation, that is addition of methyl group to DNA or histone protein, is associated with the control of gene expression. Now, methylation occur most often in symmetrical CG sequence. So there is a particular CG sequence is present over the DNA, and over that particular CG sequence that methylation is occurred. Further in detail of this CG sequence, particularly over the cytosine, with the help of this DNA methylase enzyme, methyl group is added and finally making 5-methyl cytosine, and that is called a methylation process. So cluster of methylated cytosine nucleotides binds to a protein that prevents activator from the binding of DNA. So first, that once methylation is occur, so particular activator which is needed for the attachment over the DNA, that is not able to attach. So particular that portion or gene of the DNA that is not able to activate or not able to express. So hypermethylation, that is silencing the gene expression. So that is one method to control gene expression. Now further in this DNA methylation, you also have to remember the epigenetic modification include changes in histone and particularly DNA methylation. So there is a DNA methylation is closely related with the epigenetic modification. The epimutation may be transmitted to the next generation also. Epigenetic modification, referred to as a genomic imprinting, occurs very early in the embryo. So from the embryo, that epigenetic modification is there. Methylation of DNA lead to the selective silencing of the genes. So in Prader-Willi syndrome, a mutant gene is derived from the father, and in Angelman syndrome, the mutant gene is derived from the mother. So this epigenetic mutation that is transferred to the next generation, and if there is a mutated gene is transferred particularly from father or mother, and according to that syndrome name is given. Further, you have to also remember Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome is an imprinted disorder was found to occur with the increased frequency in children born with the assisted reproductive technology, which is nowadays commonly utilized. So this one particular syndrome is seen with that particular child. So that all are related with the epigenetic mutation or related with the gene expression, particularly in eukaryotic cell. So environmental factors might epigenetic modification leading to the alteration of imprinted gene expression. So this environmental factor which is provided to the DNA might lead to the epigenetic modification and leading to the alteration of imprinted gene expression. Now further, that gene expression is controlled at DNA level by histone modification. First we have seen that methylation process for the chromatin remodeling. So here acetyl group is added. So acetylation by HATS, that is histone acetyl transferase, and co-activator induce the transcription process. But oppositely methylation by HDACS, that is histone deacetylase enzyme, and co-repressor suppress the transcription process. So here in the picture it is shown, and that HAT, that is oppositely to the that methylation, it is activating this particular part of the DNA, while oppositely HDAC, that is leading to the methylation process as well as deacetylation histone and inactive the chromatin portion. So that is also one more type of the gene expression modification. chromatin remodeling, acetylation of histone, and hence SS to promote region and facilitate the transcription. So acetylation is indirectly facilitate the transcription, which is opposite to the methylation process. So here it is shown in the picture, activator and inaccessible promoter. But once that histone acetylase, so activator, with the help of that activator, acetyl group is added. So acetyl group is acted. So accessible promoter region is there for the activity of the transcription process. So histone is acetylation and transcription machinery binds to the promoter region and transcription will occur. So that is about the acetylation. Now one more control at DNA level by gene amplification. Here you have to understand that a single gene, but it is multiply in number, means amplify in the number, and that is simply called a gene amplification. So repeated rounds of DNA replication yields multiple copy of a particular chromosomal region. So this particular chromosomal region that is multiply by this replication process and lead to the formation of multiple gene over the same chromosome. So important for adaptation to physiological and pathological changes. But there is one important drawback is observed with the help of methotrexate. Methotrexate, that already you are knowing that, which is used as a anti-cancer drug, which is structurally similar to the folic acid and basically inhibiting tetrahydrofolate reductase. But when it is given for a longer duration in a cancer patient, and that is leading to the amplification of the some particular cancerous cell or cancerous gene, and so that is leading to the adverse effect, particularly in a cancerous patient. So this gene amplification should also keep in mind when we are treating with the with that particular drug. So that is regulation of gene by gene amplification. Now control at DNA level by gene rearrangement. Now here that particular different segments of DNA in germline is shown, and one particular segment is combined and making a one particular portion or mRNA for the protein formation. So heavy chain gene and constant region production. Simply you have understand that heavy chain and constant region, that is particularly for the immunoglobulin formation. So heavy chain gene from which lymphocytes produce immunoglobulin is generated by combining specific segment from among a large number of potential sequence in a DNA of precursor cell. So different segment of the DNA attach and making a one particular mRNA, and that is helping for a making of a particular immunoglobulin molecule. So that is gene rearrangement, that is helping to by arranging in a different manner and making a lots of or large number of immunoglobulin inside the body. Same way gene switching, that is also important to understand about the gene expression. Simply that we are knowing that initially in our body, that is fetal hemoglobin is present, but after birth the majority of hemoglobin in our body, that is HbA, so that adult hemoglobin, that is about 97% in our blood. But initially when child is born, during that time fetal hemoglobin, that is predominantly. So that switching of gene, that is also helping us for the condition or physiological need of the body. Further, same way initially IgM, when first time any bacterial infection is there, but next time same bacteria is entering and our body will produce IgG with the help of that memory cell. So that is called a gene switching, just production of a immunoglobulin, but initially it is producing IgM, but later on it will produce IgG. That is one kind of gene switching. So that is also a regulation of gene expression of for the particular protein formation. Further, this gene expression is controlled at the transcriptional level. So transcriptional control requires various transcription factor. So for the just initiation process, at least 7 transcription factor is needed. Now general transcription factor are required for the transcriptional initiation. Now all together is called a TF2. So specific transcriptional factor increase transcription in certain cells or in response to the signal. So that transcriptional signal that will decide whether to express which kind of gene. So here simply it is explained that transcription factor at least 7 for the initiation process, and that is helping to attach over the Tata box. So once it is transcription factor is generated, then RNA polymerase will attach over this co-promoter site, and finally this particular structural gene will be transcripted. So that is by regulating at the transcription factor. So basically we have seen that enhancer site over the gene, or otherwise we can say that regulatory site, where particular activator, once that activator is attached, then particular structural gene transcription will be faster or it is induced. So particular activator is helping for the gene expression or gene regulation. Now one more thing, that is post transcriptional regulation. So in this post-transcriptional regulation, the various mechanisms are include. They are RNA interference, alternative splicing of the RNA, RNA editing, as well as mRNA degradation. All together are, or separately, that is helping for the post-transcriptional regulation. So in detail of this that we will look. So first, that is RNA interference. So RNA interference involves the use of the small RNA molecule. So that is particular the enzyme dicer chops, that is once snRNA, small nuclear RNA, or sometime interfering RNA that is utilized, and with the help of that dicer enzyme is generated that chops the double stranded RNA, which is generated with the help of snRNA, and small pieces of RNA will be generated, and that is basically inactivate the particular RNA function. So microRNA binds to the complementary RNA sequence to prevent the further translation. So that is also a fraction of the gene expression, or that is one way of the gene regulation. Small interfering RNAs degrade particular mRNA before translation. So that is also affecting of a particular gene expression. So that is particular RNA interference by controlling after the transcription is over. So that is post transcriptional alteration in a gene expression. Now alternative splicing. Alternative splicing recognize different splice site in a different tissue type. The mature mRNA in each tissue possesses different exon, resulting in a different polypeptide product from the same gene. Simply we are knowing that ApoB48 and ApoB100, the same gene for the both protein formation, but ApoB100 is produced in a different tissue and ApoB48 is produced in a different tissue. So here one more example is given, that is particular primary RNA transcript, but from that mature mRNA that is produced in a different way. There is a particular primary RNA transcript which is including both intron and exon part. Now once there is a thyroid splicing pattern that is containing 4 exon part, but while same this primary RNA transcript that is spliced with the help of hypothalamus splicing pattern, then the exon, that is total 1 2 3 5 and 6, total 5 exons are present. So that is one particular mature mRNA which is produced from the same primary RNA transcript that is making calcitonin, but another splicing, that is hypothalamus splicing pattern, that will form particular calcitonin gene regulating peptides. So that is different protein is generated with the help of same primary RNA transcript. So that is also one way of the gene regulation in the eukaryotic cell. Further, mRNA degradation. So mature mRNA molecules have various half-lives depending on the gene and the location of expression. So physiological and pathological factors affect the rate of expression by controlling half-life of the mRNA. So particular half-life that is decided and that is used for a mRNA degradation. Now further, control at initiation of translation. So particular leader, and with the help of this particular 5' capping, that mRNA will start for the translation process, but enhancer bound to the leader, translation is accelerator, but oppositely if inhibitor is bound at the particular initiation site of the particular mRNA, then translation is deaccelerator. So with the help of enhancer and inhibitor, that further translation can also be controlled inside the cell. So that is one another way of gene expression regulation. Post translational control, that is finally protein degradation. So proteins are produced and degraded continuously inside the cell. So protein to be degraded are tagged with the ubiquitin. So ubiquitin mediated protein degradation. So ubiquitin is commonly utilized for particular degradation of protein. So degradation of protein marked with a ubiquitin occurs at the proteasome. So these proteasome which are present in cell, once the protein is attached with the ubiquitin, then finally it will be destroyed inside the proteasome. So in detail of that is explained in this picture. There is a proteasome that is basically 26S, but it is made up of the 20S and 19S cap over both sides, and once that protein is going inside this proteasome, it is degraded in a smaller fragment. So but before that, this ubiquitin need to be activated, then there is a ligase activity, and finally there is a transferase activity. All these activity needs ATP, but once that final attachment of ubiquitin with the over that particular protein which is need to be destroyed, then finally this protein will be undergo this proteasome, and once it is inside the proteasome, then this protein will be degraded in a smaller fragment. So that is called a ubiquitin mediated degradation of the protein. So that is also another way of controlling of gene expression or controlling of the various protein function. So in general, there is a summary of and contrast of this particular gene regulation or gene expression control, particularly in a prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So simply prokaryotic control expression by simple with the help of transcription, but eukaryotic control, that is at the various location or various site, transcriptional, RNA processing, mRNA transport, mRNA translation, mRNA degradation, and lastly ubiquitin mediated protein degradation. So at various site eukaryotic gene control is possible, but for the prokaryotic only at the mostly transcriptional level that control is there. So that is quite complex as compared to prokaryotic for the eukaryotic gene expression. So that's all about the eukaryotic gene control expression.